So I made a video about what I've learned from wearing chemises for the past 5 years. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it. I asked in that video for tips on keeping chemises white so we could all help each other with our collective information. So I thought I'd share some comments that were really helpful with tips that I think that I might use in the future. So Wynette Witten-Holmes 5090 says that washing soda, or when they can get it sodium bicarbonate, is their favourite way of bleaching dingy whites. They say, I use the hottest water the fabrics can stand and let them soak for several hours. Washing soda is active for about 6 hours, which I didn't know, and dissolves well in hot water, followed by a rinse with vinegar added to neutralize the base, then with plain water, or simply transfer from the soda bath to the washing machine and add vinegar to the rinse cycle. All of these tips are really helpful, and actually it would be quite an easy way of doing a big batch of washing at once. Kmart 46320 says whites stay whiter when washed with only whites, which I don't think that I mentioned in the video, but it is good practice to just put whites in rather than anything with colours. They also say for underarm stains to pre-spot them by putting a detergent with enzymes directly on the yellowness and then washing them like normal, because a lot of the yellowing is the oils and deodorants transferring to the fabric. Happy Gardener 28 says a soak in ammonia, a wash and a rinse with plain vinegar took almost all of them out. The waxy yellowing is from the oils, brackets grease, in our perspiration. Some dish soaps are also good at breaking down solidified oils. Some organic stains like blood come out best with hydrogen peroxide. Mermaid's Tears 4897 says, I don't remember who just did a video on keeping whites white, but she boiled quote-unquote washing machine cleaned garments in a stock pot. The resultant water was filthy. So she boiled them a second time and the water was still dirty. It's a real recommendation for the old style boiling laundry tub, which is really interesting. I'll have to try and find out who did that video. Then Mia Cadwell says, when I hand wash my historical garments, I use a sink plunger dedicated to washing only, which I like that because it reminds me of like a dolly or posser that Victorians would have used, this stick that means you don't have to hunch over when you're washing things in a bucket by hand. They say it makes it easier to get clothes clean, and they also use a natural deodorant. They have done for decades. J5 of 9 says, I wore only white for one summer. I kept everything white by washing with hydrogen peroxide, which has come up a couple of times at this point, and rinsing with lemon juice. I dried them on the line in the sun. If I start to get underarm stains, I use hydrogen peroxide on the stains and let that sit for a while before washing. So a mixture of hydrogen peroxide, lemon juice, and then leaving it in the sun. The sun was mentioned a couple of times in these comments. I live in the UK, so sun is a rare commodity. But I guess you just do all the bleach you can in the summer and then just cope with the dinginess of your whites in the winter. Honey Badger is me says, best stain removal method I've seen was super hot water with dishwasher powder and chloroxyl powder. I don't know what that is. And let soak overnight if needed. This is actually quite rough on cloth, so should not be done often. So that was the most useful comments that I found on the video. Is there anything else you would recommend to keep white clothes white? I'd love to hear them.